Much better. What's your logo?
Yeah, I think the latency set to normal latency, so it's gonna be like pretty late.
So it's gonna be like 20 seconds late.
Yeah, just like it was the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. We're getting it. We're getting it
Hey
going.
Sam,
So let's
we
see. We got
got YouTube is late. We've been here since 7:54. Well, I was.
yeah. I mean, microphone troubles and whatnot. Is everything coming through okay? Like sound quality and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
Peter.
sounds good to me. Guys on the chat, what's up?
Well, they're gonna be hearing something different than what I hear.
Well, no, I just want to see their replies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
So where were you? What happened to you? Well, I guess I know what happened to you.
yeah, so we dinner ran late, and then we video called my sister from the Philippines. So that's another hour and a half. So that's why I was. By the time we were done, it was like 9:40. I was like, nope, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna go and drift for 15 minutes.
I mean, you could have. It technically went on like a half hour later, but that was more so like everyone revving their cars and fumigating all of us.
The usual, right?
Yeah, the usual. It just takes one guy to rev his motor and then everybody does it.
Yep.
Everybody. Like I didn't realize it, but after I got home, I looked into the or I looked. I smelled my jacket and it just smelled nothing. It smelled only like exhaust fume. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Like the years before.
Yes. Like all the
Looks
years
like you guys
before.
had a good turnout though. Lots of spectators. Jake won something.
No, so okay, here's the story on that. Jake decided to park. He just wanted to park his truck, like
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get closer, so we could move things in and outside of the expo hall like really easily. And
Yeah,
sure enough, it worked. And
that's cool.
I think he got the hottest ride award or something like that. But
Yep, something like that.
it's kind of
Hottest
fun.
build, something.
Like it's funny because like it would have never happened unless it happened because he unloaded his tent. So that was pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but
there. I think that video is about a minute late on their end.
it's that late. Oh my gosh.
I think I'm just now seeing Jake responding to our "Hey Jake" or "How's the video, everyone?" It's all good though. I just want guys, just a heads up. Responses on your chat is gonna be about a minute late.
Yeah. So we can like sit here for a minute or we can just kind of gradually get to them as we go.
Mhm.
Also, if you do want to be in this chat or like on this stream, let us know because we'll probably be able to get that taken care of. We want to try to do this like every week, every week. So, um, more people the better. And
And then
no,
you can
you
comment what topics you guys want to hear and
you don't
what
have to
you.
be knowledgeable. You just have to not be wrong.
I mean, we can be wrong sometimes.
I mean that is true.
We're not perfect.
No, no, we're not. But here, check this out. Did you already see the pictures and everything?
Yep.
Well, here we go.
I skimmed through it earlier.
Right. Little pictures here.
I didn't have any pictures of my car, so I didn't look too hard.
Wow, John. Wow.
I'm
That's
just
mean.
kidding. I did
Apparent
look through.
so apparently this guy, um, who was it? Todd. Todd was bringing it up. He said that this guy was he drifts this car and he like the pit bike on top is what he uses like just to go from like wherever he needs to go. It's a pretty sick bike.
Yeah,
It's
that's pretty
also
cool. I
it's
saw that.
really really tiny too.
I think I've seen it in my SBR once or something.
That an SBR?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
Uh,
The car looks familiar with the wheels too.
so this is Jake's truck with a little bit
Right.
of paint correction on my side. But yeah, like so just imagine this because I don't think I actually took any pictures of it with the actual tent like open, but it came over and like the people that owned that Toyota in the back, um, they were sitting underneath of like the awning of the tent. Something
Mhm.
like that.
Oh, nice.
You know whose that is?
That should be Jake's.
That's not Jake's.
So Method Wheels.
Oh, or did it not switch for you? Oh, are you watching the stream? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
watching the stream. Okay.
Hmm. The only way.
Can I well, I could share it via it'll look weird though. Well, whatever. You'll see it soon enough. Anyway,
Yep.
so this is Marcus's.
Yep. And Nick is just over there, the white one.
Yep. Yep.
That one's a little faster.
I doubt it.
Hmm.
I doubt it.
So Marcus is pretty wild in that car.
Right. He didn't win.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there's some obvious reasons, but at the same time, I think the like the blue sparkly shark fin should have taken home the show for him.
Hmm.
And here's Nick.
Yep. The SC.
Those wheels are so intense. Like,
That's Nick. That's definitely his style. So that car's nice though. I've driven it
oh, I never
before.
even
He had that.
realized that it was wide bodied.
Yeah, wide bodied BN kit. I'm not sure if it's actual um BN, but it's pretty cool.
It's
That thing
it's
sounds pretty good too.
it's
At
big
least for
and
me.
it's quiet.
Yeah, I mean it's loud but not like super loud.
Oh,
And he
here,
doesn't drive it like a jackass.
well,
He
yeah.
just drives it regular.
Here you go, John. Got some
You gonna show me the
BO.
red one?
Yep.
Yep. I see that thing's sick.
It's orange. Like it's actually orange.
Mhm.
Who actually I who got best car? I don't know who got best car.
I don't remember, but I like the front end. I like how he cut out the grill ish
On
to show
Nick,
off the intercooler. No, on that
the Evo.
uh no the 86.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I like that. The wheels are kind of weird to me, but the Evo's cool. That would be something I would do, like with the wrap, a little busy like that.
Right? It
Mm-hmm.
like oh wait, dang it. That's not what
What?
I want. Oh, I was moving different slides around.
Mm-hmm.
So this Forester, the paint is so cool on it. It'll fix itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember to set latency to low latency next time. Was it the red R32? It probably was. I don't know.
Not yet. I'm still on Forester.
No, in chat. Jake was saying that it was the red R32. There are so many cars that flew under the radar. Like, if I didn't see it coming in, like on the incoming, I didn't see it. And then as far as the walkthrough goes, it's kind of like whatever.
Really?
Yeah, like honestly, like um RC drifting for that show was on top. Like it was you missed out.
Well, I mean, we know it's the highlight of a show. Like
No, no,
even the
no, no. Like it's probably the best RC drifting that we've had at HIN.
really.
Yeah. Like we had somewhere in the odds of like 15 to 20 cars or something like that.
But we've
Granted,
had that number before.
well, granted most of us like had 3 cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like each. But at the same time we had good trains going.
That's good.
This is still my favorite car here. Once it goes through.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's probably like the Forester's like a Washington car because of all the stuff on the hood or on the front windshield. Yeah, so this is still my favorite car for like the past 3 years, I think.
Oh, the
Previously,
Scion box.
yeah, like I liked it a little bit
XP.
better when it was blue though. So like
Yeah.
still the same anime girl theme, um, but blue. And they actually changed it up. The firewall is no longer um license plates anymore.
Mm.
Uh, so this Subaru here, and it's gonna flip back to the other picture. I need to figure out a better way for this. This Subaru here is cool. Or it brings up a like a pretty new concept. It's not a new concept, but this little white highlight on like the arrow here, that was on a lot of cars this year. White, like all the Subarus had it. It's kind of fun.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the white Miata that's coming up is pretty cool, but wait until we get to the next one.
I did kind of look at the pictures. Are you talking about the red one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that one. I was gonna send that one to Harvey. Be
He
like,
was
Harvey.
he was there. You don't need to send it to him.
No, but see, I like that one. But I've seen him in driving around. I think he was at SPR also.
I don't
But
know.
that, yeah, I like that.
But it
It's
fooled
something
me
different.
though. Like
Yeah,
yeah, it fooled me. I just thought it was an RX-7 for the longest time.
until you took a picture of it.
Even while I was taking pictures, I thought it was an RX-7. Like
Nice.
it was a small RX-7, but even still.
Super short.
Yeah. Yeah. I found out that I can't shoot with like my thumb on the trigger button on my camera button because because it's a mirrorless camera, you can just flip the screen out and frame it however you want. I was too shaky.
Mm. Yeah, that looks good. I feel like the wide body kit is making it a little small, a little smaller.
Right.
Oh, that's something different. The Accord.
Right. It
Mm-hmm.
was pretty cool. Hey, Matthew.
Lansing 3600.
That's Lance.
Oh, who's Matthew? Am I not seeing the rest of the chat?
I don't know. I've got 2 windows of chat open.
Oh,
So, okay, this next car that's coming up is like it was unveiled at the show. It's pretty sick paint though. I don't know if it. I think it's paint. Pretty sure it's paint.
Which one is paint?
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh,
There you go.
not there. Oh, that one's. See, I like that one.
It. Yeah, it was pretty cool. The trunk actually had like a starlight, like how they do the headliners, with the fiber optic stuff. It was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of full livery cars for you, John.
See, nothing's wrong with full livery. That's Jack Ultra, the pink one.
Yeah,
So he actually drifts that one. At least I've seen pictures of him at SPR.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I would imagine so. Full livery. I'd hope he'd be representing somewhere.
Right.
And then like
Style.
the same bug. That bug's been there for a few years now.
Yeah. I wonder if they email him like every year and be like, "Hey, you want to be at our HIN again?"
I don't think so. I mean, like there was the that white beetle, like the hot rod beetle.
Yeah.
That was there again this year too.
I think it's weird to see like that car that's on the green one.
Yeah, the lowrider.
Yep, HIN.
I mean, but then there's Jake's truck.
No, but I think HIN's just gotten like, because I remember like hot import nights on the magazines, like import tuners.
Hmm.
It's always like just Japanese cars, mostly.
Well, I mean, that's what was interesting, right?
Mhm.
This
And then
next
now
one.
it's Ferrari.
No, this one. Who cares about a Ferrari?
I like the Delica.
Yeah, like I'm actually surprised that this didn't like pull the win over Jake.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because Jake had the like biggest setup. Who knows?
like with the tent and everything,
Yeah.
straight overland.
Dude. Okay, so oh, gosh. Nick and his FC body. No,
Yeah.
I need to go through these pictures faster. Okay, I'm just gonna like kind of go through them. But yeah, Nick and his FC body.
Always. That body is so popular
It,
everywhere he goes.
it even has the body holes.
Hmm.
It is that old of a body.
Well, he's always ran body holes because he didn't do magnets until he started hanging out with us as drifting.
Right. It's like it just
Mhm.
wasn't a thought until everything started.
So
Yep. That's the end of the pictures. Jake and a sad man.
nice.
There is
So did you guys drive the minis at all?
yeah, we did. Of course we did.
Cool.
Lance had his, I had mine, Jake had his. Jake had there was who had the purple one? There was a purple mini there too. And it was the purple mini. It was another SMX fan.
Mm-hmm. Matthew.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm sleeping.
Hey
Oh.
guys. We
Oh,
have a special guest again.
hold on.
Hi.
There we go.
Can
Okay.
you say hi, Loki? Okay.
He still needs horns.
Next Halloween.
His
Or-
name is Loki.
Yeah, he's gonna have Loki horns for Halloween.
Like we're talking about Marvel Loki, right?
Yes.
Not just like low key horns. No, nothing, nada.
But oh, Loki horns, like from Marvel.
No, I mean, never mind.
Oh,
Like low key horn. Anyway,
oh, yeah, yeah. I know. I've been every time I say that. Yeah, I get it now.
oh yeah. So Matthew had the purple pinkish one. That's what I thought. Okay, so let's get on with it. Electronics. Electronics are such a big deal of the game now. Not so much before, but today it's definitely like almost kind of a make or break type of situation. So, I guess on the docket, all I really like wrote was literally just electronics.
Mhm.
Motors,
I mean,
ESCs, radios.
we talked about ESC last time and
Mhm.
servos, and we kind of talked about these things last time, kind of, but we didn't talk about different ones.
Oh, I mean, I think I want to get into the like kind of the nitty gritty in terms of like comparisons instead of just like special features of each one's. So
Okay.
like why or how the Hobby Wing is different from the AccuVance versus the Yokomo or whatever, right? And
Hmm.
just like kind of how electronics affects like how we drive, honestly. Like if we're looking for smooth or like the smooth overall feeling, then we're looking at AccuVance. If we're looking for like a um I don't know, like they claim that the Hobby Wing setup is like just smooth. To me, that it's more like it just doesn't have any torque at all. So it's kind of like it, yeah. It's not
But
as
didn't
special.
we talk about how the Hobby Wing has more top end versus the low end?
I mean, I- yes, only because of the RPMs, right?
Mhm.
Like so as far as the motor goes, like since it has no torque, like if you hold it by the rotor or if you hold it by the stator and then you spin the rotor with your fingers, there's
Mhm.
no chunky feeling like you would get from like a Yokomo motor or anything like that.
Mhm.
Jake, the tuning card on the Sanwa ESC does not exist anymore. Bought an RTR drift car yesterday at HIN, but the dude gypped me on the tuning card. I did not. The radio is a tuning card. And basically, yep, gotta get a
Yes,
Sanwa
is right.
remote, which is why I gave it to him in that same transaction. He has everything to tune it. So like, Jake bought the SX3, so I am MD1 bound.
Nice.
um, but yeah. So as far as the programming goes, Jake, you're gonna be looking at the aux1 codes and the aux2 codes, um, and you can like get to it through the scroll wheel. Um, yeah, pretty straightforward. Look up the manual. If you don't have it or can't find it, let me know. I have a very low quality version of one.
All right.
MTS10
So,
support. Anyway,
what's your favorite motor out of the ones on the list?
um,
Yeah.
mine is the Fledge. Like I haven't had an Agile, and a lot of you guys like in our group tend to use an Agile over Fledge, and I don't know if that's more of a cost thing or if it's just that's what was available when they were buying motors.
For me, it's what's available or what, because I tried the Rev D motor. Um, I mean, it worked fine for me. I had the Yokomo Rev D, and then I think I'm running a Hobby Wing right now on the Mini. Um, but I think it comes down to what's available for me.
Hmm.
So
I mean, as far as MD1 goes, I'm probably gonna rip the AccuVant setup out of my Wrap Up Next Mini,
okay.
which kind of makes me sad because Wrap Up Next Mini is basically getting retired.
I mean, for now, right?
I mean, it'll still have all of the rest of the stuff in it, but like it's not getting stripped. It's just getting the motor and ESC pulled out.
Okay. I thought about that on the mini, like put the AccuVents back into it again.
Hmm.
But then again, I gotta retune the mini and all this, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Right,
So I'm just gonna run with what I have and go from there
right,
until
right.
I get tired of it.
Yeah. So like, as far as MD1 goes, I think it'll have the Jarvis, it'll have the BS Dual for now, and the I'm gonna put another Futaba servo in it. So yeah, one of those things. But
Cool.
yeah, going back to the
COVID,
no, whatever the respiratory crap that's been going around, right?
bronchitis is what's going around at my work.
It's not just bronchitis. It's something more evil. Like
Yeah.
it's been taking out so many people. Anyway, hobby wing motor. No. We were just talking about favorite motors. Yeah. So, AccuVant's Pledge is my go-to. The fanless version, because I don't think the fan is necessary. Or at least the can fan is not necessary in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, at least as long as you're running on like P-tile or concrete. If you're running carpet, then the fan is probably something that's worthwhile to you.
Okay. So here's another question. So, because these motors that we have listed, they're all different style. There's a fully enclosed motor. I know the AccuVents that I'm running is open,
Mm-hmm.
and the Rev D one.
It had ports.
Yep. So between open motor and fully enclosed, which one would you choose if you had a choice between the two?
It doesn't matter, at least not to me for where we're running, because we know that the surface is pretty clean. That's not that big of a deal. What's more important is just the overall feel of the motor. I will say though that Sam, um, he had originally the Yokomo Type T, the torque tuned motor,
Hmm.
in his SX3 build, and then he got rid of that motor. Somewhere down the line, when Alex was looking at it, he he felt that it was like kind of really chunky, almost to the point where it's like when you bridge two of the solder connections, where the motor gets really hard to turn.
Spin, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. We looked at the terminals; it was clean. We found a washer got inside the motor can, and it was spinning up against the rotor.
Mm-hmm.
So got that taken out, and then yeah, forget who has the motor now, but it's somewhere else. But yeah, like as far as open can, like we're always susceptible to that kind of stuff, and like just make sure your surface area is clean, right?
But we've seen it that even with P tile or the current floor that we're drifting right now, you still get dust.
Right. I mean,
Hmm.
dust is one thing. A washer is something totally different,
Hmm.
right?
Well,
Like
no, I understand that. I was just trying to see if you were gonna pick and choose whichever motor or motor style.
it doesn't matter. The Fledge still has like just as much porting that than like any of the other motors. The most open motor that I've seen is like the Hobby Wing like race motor that some people use. You know, the one where like he just it's not even like a full can. It just has like the end caps and then the you see the stator, like
Hmm.
the sandwich of the stator. But yeah, like either one. Like I totally run a Rev D motor. I totally run the probably the Yokomo Type R, the RPM
Okay.
motor. Especially since they just dropped their red and purple cans too. So they have black, red, and purple.
Been thinking about a new motor, so that's why I'm asking questions.
Well, I mean, cost comes into play too, right?
Always,
Because
always. Well,
so
so here's the thing. I would like to eventually get another ESC motor setup for the Mini, so I'm not running the Hobby Wing with the old school Team Orion no boost ESC. It's the one that I got from you.
no.
A
I
lot.
know the ESC, but I'm just thinking which motor you have.
Oh, I have Alex's Burton's motor. It's like a 8.5.
But oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it is one of those like race motors. It's not the D10 or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like I said, that's like it became the budget build after we did the conversion from the wrap up to the Midnight Mini.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep. And then we're talking about ESC next, or
Jeremy says he grabbed the ABS dual in Jarvis because it was the best for the buck. Yes, it truly is, honestly, because that ESC, like, it's 185, like on the sale that it is right now. No, the rat is like 185. No, I take it back. The Jarvis is 185. The rat is like 214, and then the XX is like 285 or something like that. Don't get a titanium shaft motor. I'll break
because
my.
it'll break in half. All the boost. Well, I don't really know what happened to that one.
So, okay, the only reason why I think Jake broke his like motor shaft is because the way that the MC1 is, because the motor is pushed so far back from where the spur
That
sits.
is very true.
So there's a lot
I feel
more
like we're missing a
leverage.
washer.
Yeah. There's a lot more leverage for that armature to like take on. So I think that's what happened instead of just like random fluke. Nothing's happened to the Fledge.
That's good. So
Yeah.
far, we've been lucky.
Yeah, so BS Dual is like the cheapest motor out there, but it's still one of the like better motors that you can start off with and even just use continually. Like that's what I have in my ZX. And like it's my ZX is fairly fast. Like I can keep up. Yeah.
That's a completely different topic about keeping up.
Yes.
All right. So ESC wise,
Oh, okay. So out of the motors that we listed, how would you rank them? One being the best, and we only named 4, but oh, hey, we can throw in the top line motor.
but none of us have experience over that top
Jake
line
will
motor.
have experience with it.
Jake's got it, huh?
Well, no, he ordered it. But the funny thing is that it comes in so many different variations. So you have 10.5 and 13.5. Then you have torque spec and then RPM spec. And then you have a broadband specification.
True.
You know how much money that motor was going for on Super G?
I didn't look.
It's
I
like
was scared to.
That's like 190.
We did pay 160 some change for a Rev D motor.
150. You paid 150. That motor has never been above 150 as far as retail cost goes.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah, so same with the Fledge. As long as you go with like the fanless Fledge, it's around like 150, 160. So like as far as like top tier like drift motors, I'd still go with a Fledge.
Okay. So rank them. You said you wanted to rank. I'd
Yep.
probably say, um, from experience, it would be Yokomo Rev D, Yokomo, Acuvance, and then Rev D.
Really?
Yep.
Which Yokomo motor did you have?
BL Pro 4. Or
No,
no, sorry. I'd have to.
I don't think you've ever had a Yokomo motor.
I did because my first combo was all Yokomo stuff. Motor was Yokomo, ESC was Yokomo.
We're talking about from the deli, right?
Yeah. And then the Rev D happened because I decided to upgrade to the Rev D one. And then I wanted a purple motor, and Neil had one.
Yeah, and you
It's
had
on my
one,
old car, like the plastic fantastic car.
which you don't have.
Yep, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
But I kind of wish I still had that motor.
yeah. Anyway, if you are planning on a Yokomo motor, get the Type R. The torque spec is just way too torquey. It doesn't work out for us in the end. At least not the way that I drive. Unless you have like some ESC that has coasting features or it has some sort of way to like do a like an FOC startup type of thing like crawlers have. It's just too much of an on and off type of thing. Like when you release the trigger on the torque spec, it's like a drag brake. As for me, I'd go Acuvance
It's
at the
the
top.
BL. I think it's let me
The,
pull it up.
what
I need to know now. It's bugging me.
what
The motor that I'm pulling it up. It's like a fully enclosed motor
for what?
for the Yokomo motor that I liked.
They're all like fully enclosed. There's like some
Oh, not
portions.
the new ones. I think it's like a drift spec or something like that.
Oh, is it the racing performer thing?
Yes,
Like
that one.
those are
Okay.
pretty open.
No, it's the enclosed one. I think it's drift spec. It's an older motor that we had laying around.
Yeah,
That was a deli deal.
gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So as far as my ratings go, I'd go Acuvance, Rev D, Yokomo, other motors, and then the Hobbywing D10. Like it's a
Cool.
smooth motor. It doesn't have anything for it though. Like you have to run it too high in the RPMs for it to like really get going. Like running a much more motor, too much magnet. Exactly. Although it was great in the drift oval. The Spectre motor was fantastic in the drift oval.
Back in the day.
Like what, 4 months ago?
Wait, oh, you had it at
Yeah.
the shop.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Okay, ESEs. So this is where like a whole bunch of if and thens come to play, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like we were talking about earlier with Jake and getting the Sanwa radio and like the Sanwa ESC that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Um like if Sanwa ESC, then must be Sanwa radio, right? Like it has to be that.
Yeah.
If Acuvance or Futaba MC 970 or 971, then Futaba radio, right?
Yeah.
Everything else outside of that is like do what you want, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna come down to what you like to run. Like I think we have, or I still am running favoring my or well, no, I have a Futaba Acuvance setup, and it works because I can tune it with the radio, and that's the only reason why I'm still using it.
Right.
If it was back in the day, I would still have a Yokomo with a Sanwa radio.
Okay. Actually, let's talk about that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because the biggest reason why I got rid of my Sanwa setup is because the trigger pull and the motor feel and just all of it didn't fit like what I'm used to now. Like the whole trigger pull. Well, and I showed you that one day, right? Like when we were
Yep.
driving the FD versus the like anything AccuVance.
Yeah.
You're lying, Jake. BL Pro 4, like maybe your first CSC, but RPX 2. Like,
That was the upgrade for the Yokomo.
right. Because it what? BL Pro 4 was a $200 ESC.
Mhm.
RPX 2 was like at the time like 225,
I
230.
would have to say the BL Pro 4 setup wasn't bad.
No,
Because I think
it was great, and at the time the like it wasn't blowing up in flames either.
mhm.
Whereas like some of the guys that had the first gen RPX 2s, like those were
Mhm.
catching on fire. I think Rob Nick had one.
Catch on Fire.
I think so. I don't know. It happened at Kong, like way back.
Way long time ago
Hmm.
when Kong was a thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah. No, like BL Pro 4 is great, right? Uh, cool feature that the Yokomo ESCs have is that they have the ability to turn the fan off when it's not needed. So,
that is very true. That was cool. Unless you're on a throttle, that's the only time it would turn on, I think.
hmm.
And then when it sits, if your Moto ESC is idle for a little bit, it shuts off.
Yeah.
Hmm. I remember that from the deli because the deli was very loud with the fans going on.
Well, it's because it had to. Well, wait, that's funny then, because we started at the deli in October. Like it was a winter gig. It wasn't like anything more than that. But we still had
Yeah,
to
but
have the fans going.
yeah, because then if you don't have the fan going, it gets really stuffy.
Yeah.
And then of course, then when your car's running, you hear all the booze, and then yeah.
Hmm. But yeah,
So ESC,
yeah. So as far as ESCs go, like Yokomo, Hobby Wing, AccuVance, what else is out there? Like
um,
there's like the generic stuff like Onisiki and Yeah Racing, like the hack moto stuff from Yeah Racing.
mhm,
Um, what's the other one? OMG.
yeah.
Then I don't know, like the generic stuff, right?
Well, I mean, there's MST like from the RTR
Yeah,
also.
we won't talk about that. Well, I mean, because really, like you're gonna be off of those electronics within the year anyway. Like no matter.
Before a year, because then you want to keep. Well, you want to try and keep up with everybody.
Yeah, Toro 160 is a good one. Even their one, their 120 amp. Um, although like with their 120s, at least the one that I have, like no matter what you do with the boost, it doesn't ever seem to like boost the right way.
It was
Um,
fine when I was running it.
yeah, it's fine.
Mhm.
It's just like not any specific value does like what it's supposed to, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yes, Rev D is in the works of their ESC. That's why it was blurred out in the RDX pictures. So
That's
it'll
funny.
it'll be interesting to see what the Rev D ESC turns into. Toro 120. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it's gonna be the RPX 3.5 when the Rev D one comes out.
You think so? You really
I
think they'd
mean,
follow the RPX 3 line?
it's gonna be Rev D's version.
What? Watch. They're gonna go back to Gropner and be like, "Hey, we know that Yokomo ditched you. We want your ESC."
I mean, that could be a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, Toro. So Toro is also like G-Force and a few other names, but like Sky RC is one of them too.
mhm.
Hobby Wing 2-in-1, best combo for everything, bro.
Who said that?
Phil. I mean, we're talking about the crawling motor, right? I think Jake has one of those. Like where it's the
Oh,
ESC
Matt's running the 2-in-1 on his crawler.
on his crawl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
What?
Well, okay, no, because space is like a very real thing on crawlers. That's why like some of you guys are running like the 3 cells that are only like 1,000 mAh.
Because it's lighter and it gives you more torque.
Yeah.
And you run for about 45 minutes on a 15. Actually, I'm running at 1300.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a different topic. Do you want to go to crawling next time?
You can do crawling. I can just sit and watch.
No, we'd have to bring in Lance and Jake and Neil for that topic.
I
And I
mean, we
think
can do that,
it'd
but
be like a 3 hour
but
conversation.
setting the rules already. No competition talk.
No comp talk.
No comp talk because that would get into a mess really quickly. BL Heli ESC is as small as my thumbnail. Isn't that funny? Because of the whole Outrunner motors, they're just using um, flashed like drone ESCs.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If it works,
I
I
mean,
actually want to try that still.
you did.
No, I have the Outrunner motor, but I don't have the same ESC that Phil has because I
Huh.
never bought one. But anyways, Drift ESC.
Did you trash the revolver motor yet?
Nope, it's in a box
Go
somewhere.
go throw it away.
No.
Okay. Back to ESCs. So we've said it before in chat or in stream. Like I do think that the Yokomo has the best power delivery. The only interesting thing is that none of us have seen a RPX3 in real life yet. I think Jacob Parker has one up in Seattle. But yeah. Um seems like more people are having way more troubles with a RPX3 than what they want. Which is sad because it's even more expensive than the RPX2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens after January. See what ESC is going to be around and available, and which one I would want to buy.
I mean, okay. So, as far as my like preferences go, it's always going to be Acuvance because of Futaba. Like,
I mean, that's a given.
yeah, like it's pretty straightforward. I'm not Tekin Electronics. I would Elliot would be the guy to talk to about that one.
Yeah, Elliot would say no. It's just I feel like Tekken is just not drifting or it's outdated unless you're racing. And even then, I don't even know if it's still relevant in the racing world.
It is. I mean, as
Well,
far
I mean,
as
I know it's on the big scale, 8 scale truggies and buggies.
I mean, they were being used for drag racing, like the Tekken RS Pro Black or whatever it was. Not even the
Oh,
RSX. They were just using
I think it's because it's tunable with
the
um,
older
the
Sanwa radios.
Sanwa M17.
Uh, I think M12 and older.
One of the local guys, Judd, he's running an M17 on a Tekken, I believe.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on that though.
I mean, from what I know about that, like the Tekens were like you can adjust like throttle points, like the throttle curve of like where your finger is at versus how much power it's putting out. That's how people were getting faster. But yeah, that's drag. That's not drift.
Yep, that's a different world.
So as far as Tekken electronics go, they work. Yeah, like
You're like, get something else, get Yokomo or Acuvance if you can.
well, so I'm sure if Elliot would have like not shaved the posts down on his RSX, like it would have been totally fine.
Yeah,
There's just not enough clearance in his RER. Like it was so close. So something is up with it. But then he put real electronics in his car, and hey,
Right.
he is back up and running.
He's been driving really good lately.
Yeah, no, everyone has been driving so good. Like the trains that we had at HIN was like, when you hop on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram and you like see those videos and you're like, I wish I could do that.
Hmm.
We were pretty close to that.
I mean, we did that at Northwest.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
And that's like all Northwest drivers. This was just Portland.
Was there many Portland people other than Nick and Marcus that lives in Washington?
Hmm.
Jake, you don't count. You're a Northwest guy.
Jake's a Vancouver boy. He can't do anything.
Oh, I mean, Nick and Marcus lives in Vancouver,
That's true.
but I just say Jake doesn't count because he started at Northwest.
Oh, that's how we're leaving it.
Well, I mean, technically, I'm not Portland because I wasn't there.
We're doing the whole Team Wolf Raven thing.
I mean, it's Team Jake
No,
all day.
it's forever. I mean, yes, Team Jake, but forever Team Wolf Raven.
So, Copperhead for like a month. Oh, okay.
So I think part of that was mainly because at the Copperhead, like, aren't like those. It's a 4-pole motor, like the castle setups are. So technically, like, when he was running it, when Phil was running that Copperhead, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good. Like, it just didn't have any. It didn't have any turbo or
Hmm.
boost. But it's a crawler ESC. Um, yeah, it is what it is. Like, as far as that goes. Back to ESCs though. Like,
Yeah.
have you? So you've run Yokomo, you've run Accuvance or Futaba, whatever you want to call it.
Toro.
You've
Hmm.
run Toro. I've gotten to play with the Hobby Wing, like their drift like thing.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, and
Alex B.
mhm. And I can't get over the fact that having to connect to your ESC, um, via
Thanks
like,
for the info, Busted.
yep, like having to connect to your ESC via a wireless card or just plugging in a program card. I'm over it. Like, I don't ever want to do that again. I don't need
Yeah,
to.
I like the Accuvance convenience of like just being on your phone, or sorry, not your phone, your radio, and just tune everything there.
Watch. So Noble, since it's open source, watch the next DSC with open source being blah 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 blah, like being open source to work with like all of the settings. That would be the coolest project that would come out in the next few years if it did.
Oh, Adam, can you answer that question on the chat about the RevD gyro
Yeah,
before we go
totally.
forward?
Jake has it now, even though that Jake already bought one. So Jake has two now. So yeah, Revox, RevD Revox. It is better than a V4 gyro to me, not better than a GYD 550 from Futaba, which there's a lot to like go with that answer. Um, it's cool. So instead of the like, you don't need a tool to be able to press the button in to set your endpoints. There's a physical button
Just like
for
the
that.
Yokomo.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but there's a button for it, right? There's also 6 different profiles that you can choose, and like level 1 is gonna be the, like, you have priority over everything, or as much as it can be, whereas number 6, is like the most assisted setting for that gyro. Um, the way that I had the SX3, like when Jake and I were driving it, was I think it's on 2 or 3 right now. So as far as the assistance goes or the priority goes, like I I would like to be in charge of it more. Um, you can also go into the settings of the like you can use the you're not actually programming the gyro, you're programming the servo, but you can program the RevD servo in a more Revox style way. There's like a specific setting for it. Um, I never got it to feel very good when I was playing around with it. Um, it opens a lot. It opened up a lot of settings as far as like motor speed curve, um, and a few other settings that I don't really remember off the top of my head. But like it never felt right with the actual like Revox settings.
So do you think it was overhyped, or well overhyped and then now it just fallen off? Because I don't see it
it's
on social media a whole lot more like than I did before.
it's expensive, right? Like I think I paid
Mm-hmm.
110 for mine,
Mm-hmm.
which you're $10 more and you're at a GYD 550.
Because I think John runs a GYD 550 as he says on there on a
Mm-hmm.
chat.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to drive it. Well, did I get to drive it on your car?
You if you drove the FD recently, then yeah.
No.
I
So I
mean,
never get to drive it.
well no, because you drove I was doing the whole gimmick thing for the past few weeks.
Oh, was it on that?
Yeah, two drivers, one.
It wasn't bad. I mean, if I was like picking up drifting,
Yeah, like
I didn't
so.
realize that's the gyro that was in it. It was pretty easy to drive,
Yeah,
even with the two guy driving throttle and steering.
yeah. So Jake asked to drive it with just the Sandwell radio,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, okay."
Nice.
Um, and then I drove it because I wanted to feel what it felt like on that surface, which HIN surface this year was 100% different from the previous years than what we've known it
Is
to
it more
be.
slick or is it more traction?
We had way more traction. Like, um, it was fast.
Nice.
Like really, really, it was good. It was a good surface to be on this year, and it probably has a lot to do with like us being better drivers and like knowing what to do with our cars now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the surface was fast.
Nice. That's cool.
It's a very expensive V4, but feels way better than a V4, so it's still a good purchase. And I'd still recommend it to someone to buy a better
Here,
gyro, a better engine. Yeah.
it's a $10 difference, but
Well, I mean, but you're still in the hardware aspect of it too, right?
mhm.
Because if you have a Sandwell radio, if you have a Noble, then you don't have the ability to program the 550.
Yeah,
And like, yes, you
think
can.
I think for the money, I would if I'm doing a budget build, let's say Noble, I would definitely like just say entry level drift gyro servo ESC motor, and then I'd probably get a V4 for a gyro for just a $75 purchase.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or just everybody gets rid of them.
Yep.
Like, out of our group, everyone
Um,
probably
I
has like
would
a V4.
definitely like just say entry level drift. Isn't a GYD 470?
Yeah, it just got released.
Gotcha.
But the problem of it is that I think it still has the same I think it still has the same problem as the 450, where like they're not real endpoints. You twist the screw to adjust the endpoints on either end.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the same problem that the Reefs Hobby servos has. The LP 199 or 99 or something like that. Yeah. So about the 470, I don't think it'd be worth it. Stick with the V4 or the 550 or the Rev D Reeboks. Don't even put the 470 into that mix.
I agree.
Like it looks like a 550 now. They got rid of like the chrome like wedge thing or arch thing, which whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, like if the 470 had endpoints and tail slide speed, and that was like the only things that you could change on it, then yeah, like discount on from the 550 and then call it a day. That would be the servo to buy or the gyro to buy then. Because not a lot of people like. Well, I run my priority, my steering control gain, like really, really, really high. Some other people don't like doing that.
Hang on, replying to something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so can we move on to radios?
Yep, same idea. If Futaba, then stick with the stuff that works with Futaba. Like don't question it, just do it. This is only compatible with Futaba. No, 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 no. So that is just Futaba being
I just
Futaba.
read that too.
So okay, the the Futaba servos or the Futaba gyros will say that just because it's Futaba, right? They're not gonna market like as other things that are gonna work with it. Um, we know that the like any servo is gonna work with the Futaba gyro. You just need to be conscious of the dampener and just the dampener. Since our drift specific servos have dampening programmed into them already, we don't need to account for that with the gyro, or the gyro doesn't need to worry about it. Um, if you run the dampening at like really low, like 1 to 5, it can kind of like increase the oh, how do you want to say the responsiveness of the gyro effect. Like it'll feel really loose, like or more active. Um, Not the gyro being in play, but the effect of you actually driving the car. But overall, you don't need a Futaba servo to work with a gyro. You can use anything. Like, and when I say anything, even like the race servos that are out there too. And
Just
then you
get the.
use the dampener like and like be able to do it that way.
Oh, that's true. You can do it that way
Mm-hmm.
through the gyro.
Yep, because it has it. Okay.
So radios,
Why does
I
that?
say Futaba Sanwa Noble or Futaba Noble Sanwa. Depends on how which Sanwa radio we're comparing.
It depend. I it 100%. Do you want to explain tail slide speed, John? And we'll get back to this.
Let's do radio and then we'll get back to tail speed.
Okay. It is 100% preference. Like as far as Futaba versus Sanwa goes, like we'll leave Noble out there as just like the the recommended budget build, right? Like
Mhm.
even if it's not a budget build, the Noble is a great radio, other than the fact that it's Fly Sky, but it is still a good radio. And I think from what I hear, they've fixed the receivers, so instead of using a bind plug, it's actually just a button now. So they've stepped it up. Um, yeah, like it is 100% the reason why I got rid of the Sanwa setup is because I didn't like the way that the trigger pull
Mhm.
corresponded with how the car moved, and therefore I got rid of it. It just became more apparent, like just from driving Futaba every day, and then switching over to that car, and it's like I don't like this. And you started out with an MT44, like when you got back into it.
Um, no, it was an MT4. Oh, when I got back into it, yes, MT44.
Yes,
Uh, from the Delhi.
Sanwa does have telemetry, just like Futaba.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say Futaba is for the person that likes an easy to use display, whereas the Sanwa is totally you. Oh, I don't know
So
what to word
the
it.
high end radios, as far as Sanwa versus Futaba, the the Sanwa interface on the M17 feels super old school.
Yeah,
Like it felt like they never moved away from the retro dot matrix to where your Futaba setup is more like Samsung and iPhone. It's better trigger, better touchscreen. It looks better. The scroll wheel is horrible on some of them on the Sanwas. So it's just preferences, but I think Futaba is a little bit more advanced than the Sanwa setup.
I
If we're talking M17 versus um, the 10PX or the 7PXR.
I will say that as far as like any radio problems, I've had problems with Futaba. I've had problems with Spectrum. Yeah, Spectrum.
Spectrum. Well, yeah, that's cheap radio.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with Sanwa radios ever. Like
That is true.
I
Minus the actual radio itself, I've never had any connectivity issues or whatnot.
I've never had binding issues. Like the Futaba 4 p.m. before the whole firmware update thing, that was an entire nightmare. Like it was almost like when you were trying to bind to a 304 SBS
Yep.
receiver.
And if it's not updated,
Yeah, it was like a gamble, right? It's like
mhm,
you have to get lucky, or it has to be like a specific like binding number for it to even work.
mhm. But
Um
then it's like I think when you're stepping up to that type of radio, as far as what level we're on, um, I think it just comes to mind that we know how to do things like that, and that those are the first thing that we look for. Kind
right,
of like tuning for your gyro. The new guy is not gonna want a gyro like we have, to where we have to have a radio to tune
right.
all the things that we're doing. So I think as far as the radios go, I would still prefer Futaba overall. As far as, well, we're on that level. We're on the top radios, but my pro tip for between the 7PXR and the 10PX, stick with the 7PXR if you like to have your picture and your telemetry in the same screen. If you just care about the picture and not the telemetry, or vice versa, you can definitely step up to the 10PX. I believe it is faster, but it does not make you a better driver.
It feels better
So
in the hand though.
it
That
does feel better in the hand because it's not as heavy. Ergonomically, yeah, it feels better. I like it better. But like I said, if you're gonna do, if you're doing the whole picture with the telemetry 7PXR, you can do it on a 10PX. The update didn't fix it.
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I
I'm still
mean,
kind of butthurt about that.
it's not a pro tip. It doesn't affect your driving though. It just makes it so you can only have a picture or only have telemetry. Like it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah.
but you know, yeah, like
Okay. You wanna, so we know we're Futaba Sanwa or Noble Sanwa, right?
I still say that it's 100% preference.
Jake, I agree. I like the shortcut buttons on the 10PX.
Yes, I can agree on that.
Um, Do you want to let's answer John's question on the tail speed?
Okay, go, John.
So give me a sec. I gotta find my notes.
Futaba all day and 7pxr. 7px is a good way to get into it. I'm assuming that's supposed to be S bus. Don't get too hung up on the word S bus. Like S bus is a protocol. Like we use it in drone world all the time. Like that's just the way that we communicate with our radio protocols. Um, but as far as like S bus, it's kind of like a trick word because it's like, what do you use the S bus port for? Um, and you can use the S bus port for a lot. But like if you're getting into the full ecosystem of like everything, right? So if you're running Accuvance electronics and you've got the Futaba 550 and the CT 500 or CT 701 or 700, um, like you can plug any of those into the S bus port and do all the programming through it. You cannot. I think the gyro you can't. Oh no, the gyro you can. The servo you can. You actually have to plug in the servo into the back of the radio to like enable SR mode. Um, and with the CT701, there's an SR plus mode now. Or no,
Wow.
it's a UR. Yeah, ultra response. Um, so the question is, what about S bus? Do y'all have, or y'all run S bus? The answer is technically yes, because that's what the GYD 550 runs off of. Um, and if you have that, or Accuvance set up, then yeah, you're using somewhat of an S bus protocol. Falcon.
Tail speed or tail slide speed.
Oh, my bad. Go, John.
All right. So from my understanding, tail slide speed is how fast you want your rear end to actually come out for transition and drifting. I think I have mine set pretty low because I don't like it to just twitch out on me when I'm drifting or my transitions to not look smooth. The other side of it is tail slide speed is supposed to be how fast your throttle response could be. I think I'm reading this wrong. Um, it controls your drift angle of your choice at speed. Does that make sense?
Read it word
Did
for
I,
word.
huh?
Like, are you looking at the manual for it?
No, well, so this is like the old notes that I have on it.
Mm.
So I'm just looking it up. So that's what I had. So basically, tail slide speed is the speed that it allows you to control at a high angle. Is that correct? My notes is kind of jarbled on a piece of paper.
I guess more simply put, it really is just what it says. It's tail slide speed. So higher the number, the faster your tail end will basically whip out. It'll
Mhm.
step out. It's a relative number. I think it goes all the way up to 300, or maybe even higher than that. But I think it goes to 300.
It's been a while.
Um,
I haven't switched it in a long time.
well, I mean, for most people, from what I see, like I think Neil runs his at like 60. Um, my ZX is running at 260.
Jeez.
Yeah, so like it's 100% relative to your setup. Like my setup is 100% like more aimed toward the rear grip of the car like than anything else, so that's why it's up so high. You can always adjust with like springs or like oil in your shocks and whatnot. But that's why I use the 550 is because you have the ability to make those changes on the fly and just change the software aspect of it instead of like changing the car to fit the hardware. So that's why 550 for me.
You want to answer that question from John again?
Does tail slide speed
Yes.
have to do with angle, or just the speed of the whip? More so just the speed of the whip.
Mhm.
Like it's all going to be intertwined with everybody. Wow, with everybody, with everything. Like if you change one thing, it's going to change the other aspects of it. Like if you
Mhm.
increase, increase the steering control gain, um, you're either going to also increase your gyro gain, or if you increase your tail slide speed, you might probably increase your gyro gain as well to accommodate for that higher speed.
Jake, I'm down for that. I think we should play with tail slide speed at Northwest next Sunday, or the Sunday I'm actually gonna go up there or down there.
If you're if you can't feel a big difference, then you're probably like check your dampeners, because your dampeners play a big factor into that. If you have really stiff dampeners, then like it's not going to allow your car to do very much, because it's just like it's set there. Um, Although at the same time, some of the best cars that I've driven have absolutely no rear end travel. Like
Right?
like
Next.
Nick's car, Jason's
Mhm.
car when he had his, um, Phil's Frankenstein build, the pan car, which had a solid axle that only had like half a centimeter of travel. Um, what was this? Chris Cruz. Yeah, yes, all of them.
Wait,
No,
who's Chris Cruz?
I don't know. He's the guy in chat.
Hi. I was just like, I just read that name. I was like, who's that?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
701 hooks up Wi-Fi along with the gyro and ESC. Are we talking about just the like actual changing it to like the SR modes? I'm not sure. Um all in all, like to be honest, I don't use SR or UR on mine at all. Mainly because if you do use SR mode uh with the Futaba servo, you end up losing your telemetry with the Accuvance electronics. And honestly, I don't feel like we actually need SR or UR like support in terms of drifting. I don't think it makes us better in that regard. Does the actual servo feel better? Yes. Um, I'm gonna be putting a CT701 in my MD1.
Baller build.
I mean, mid baller build. It'll have
Mid
a
baller
Jarvis.
build.
It'll have a Jarvis. It's not gonna have a XX in it. Ooh, cutting
I
the
think we did
chassis.
droop at one time too.
Cutting the
I think we
chassis. I
all had droop.
hate.
I just don't want to cut carbon fiber chassis unless. Well, okay, wait. I did that once, and I'm not doing it again. Back in the day, when the YD2 first came out, and it's that wide chassis, I cut it down so it matched the D-like.
Yep, I cut mine.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again.
Did we miss any questions here?
I don't think
We
so.
got the S bus. We got oh, okay. So John found us when he was setting up his 7PXR. Yeah, cool. That is what I like to see.
Nice.
The only difference between that's Lance. Never mind. But the only difference between a 7PX and a 7PXR is pictures.
Okay, you answered those. Yeah, Phil answered that one. Okay.
Can you tell the difference between a CT500 and a CT700? Yes, I can. Not in the way
Adam
that you
can.
think. What, it's $70-$80 more?
Right. But
Um,
yeah, isn't the speed a lot faster too?
Not enough to actually matter. Um,
Hmm.
so in between the CT500 and the CT700, Steve Fujita or Joey Tam or one of the editors over at Super G did the article on it, where it didn't it didn't really matter. The biggest thing is that the CT500 has a plastic case. And honestly, it doesn't make a performance difference, but it does make you feel like it's not worth the $150, $180 servo that it is. Like even the Rev D servo is all aluminum. Like 65 bucks.
Wait, is it? Is it really?
I mean, it's
been a while since I've seen those servos.
it's metal where it counts, and like it's
Sure.
more of a quality servo than like the way that it feels in your hand is with more quality servo than what the CT500 is. CT500 is just plastic, and like it has metal gears in it, but other than that, like there's a big like quality of life. Like that's why I say the Noble as far as a radio goes, because it literally feels premium. It's a premium product in the hand.
I agree.
Like it feels like a good radio in the hand. The weight is good, the grip is good. The wheel's tiny, but I mean you can get around that. What is the wheelbase of your Mini? Yep, Phil's got it right, 225. You can kind of fudge that number too, because it does have the holes for both the MC1 and the oh no, never mind. I'm thinking of the Wrap Up Next chassis. No. The MC1 chassis has the shorter distance for the toe links, and the longer ones for the strut, the hinge pins. So as long as you're using Rev D arms, you can get a little bit longer and a little bit shorter than that too. We still have quite a few of them in stock, so if you do need one, hit us up. We'll get you in contact with the right people. $100, we'll get you a bottom and a top plate.
And cool. And then again, go ahead.
They are drilled properly. I made sure of that.
Okay. And they only work for, to confirm, Z, YD2Z, right? And the MC1.
Without modification.
Yes.
And the R. The R works as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can put a YD2S on it. You just need to do a little bit of trickery with the battery placement is all. What's up with the new update for the Jarvis XX? Is it worth doing? Probably not. If you have a good tune on your ESC already, there's no real need. I think it'd be interesting to play with. I don't have a XX or a Rad ESC, so I don't get to play with it. But it's mainly the AI settings. Although I guess the hype about it is that it's overall like it's more smooth and more dynamic in terms of power. So there is that aspect of it too. I mean, do it. Like right. if you have the XX or the Rad ESC, upgrade your firmwares as much as you can, because it should always be a better experience. Okay.
What's next?
Nothing really. I mean, like we talked about radios, and I still stand by it's 100% your preference. Just whatever feels good or whatever feature set that you're looking for. That's ultimately what matters here. Like, if you want the luxury experience of not having to grab your phone, not having to grab a program card, connecting to it, bringing your car to the side of the track where you can pick it up and then program it. Accuvance. Everything is across the radio link, so it doesn't matter.
Futaba and Accuvance.
That's where it's at until someone else comes with a better protocol or a better open source project.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
batteries. We're talking about batteries.
Guys, don't forget, for you guys that are going to be going to the comp, comp is gonna be January.
Yep, January 15th.
So
And we are officially doing Super G rules.
cool.
Yep. So as far as that goes, we do need to start getting into the nitty gritty of like judging, mainly because we're going to be a part of the championship. So, as far as that goes, we're going to be starting up in May, and then going to September. I think is going to be our 5 months of series comps. So, trick about that is that you win the comp, cool, and I believe that there are the actual requirements for going down to the championship competition is that you just need to participate in 50% or more of the competitions, and then you can qualify for championships.
And do you have to win in those competition to qualify?
No, you just have to show up.
Cool. But if you're judging, can you still go?
I mean, they're not prohibiting anyone from going, but as far as competing, I would imagine so. And yeah.
Just wondering.
Well, so I mean, we need to talk about that, right? Like, because if you want to compete and qualify, then you need to compete and qualify.
Yeah.
So there's like we can kind of fudge the judging on that, but we need to really get the group together and talk about that.
Cool. As far as tuning help, what's available at Northwest Hobbies?
Wait, what?
I was just wondering if people want to go to the shop and see who's drifting, they can openly talk with you.
On Thursday nights and Sundays. I might be there Saturdays, depending on if on road picks up. But yeah. So Thursday nights are race nights. That's usually they're gonna be there quite a bit later, so it'll be that. Like, well, I'll be there as long as the races are going. And then as far as Sunday goes, Sundays are usually the day that everybody shows up. So what I say is Thursday nights are tuning days, and then Sundays are the come to and have fun day
and hang out with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
What are we hearing? Yes, judges get an autumn. Oh, okay. To the finale.
Okay, I'll judge all the time.
Okay, hey, you heard it here first. John is saying that he'll judge every competition.
Hey guys, it's $100 before the comp if you want to guarantee second place. Just kidding.
We're supposed to be non-biased judge.
I know.
And non-bribed judge.
They don't have to know about the bribe.
Batteries. Phil, batteries. My cheap batteries made us wonder about capacitors. And speaking of capacitors, I mean, where are you going with that, Phil?
I mean, we all have, if you're buying Acuvance, it comes with some sort of capacitor.
All ESCs come with a capacitor.
And then if you want to be baller and buy the Onishiki $20 one.
I mean, yeah, or the Racing one. Or you can actually be the baller and buy the Acuvance one.
For the $39?
No. The turbo starts at like $45, and then their Blaze is like a $75 capacitor.
Yeah. I'm cheap. I go with the $20 ones.
I mean, they have just as much capacitance than like the others do. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do people need caps? And what's your favorite batteries? My batteries that I run, let's see, out of all of them, the Reedy Zappers are puffing. So all of my Zappers are puffed. My I forget what they're called. They're like some cheaper brand. Those are okay, but those are also newer. And I just picked up some Gens Ace batteries.
Wait, are you going out again? Give me a sec. Are you gonna walk them down the street? Okay. Sorry, puppy talk.
I just picked up some Gen Ace batteries. Guess how much?
30.
They're 130C. They're
Well,
4200
they're
milliamps.
$60-$70 for two
Yeah, yeah. I mean, close. They're $45 retail.
from Amazon.
I mean, from the batteries that I got at Northwest.
Wait, they have Gen Z's over there?
I mean, they can,
Ah,
but I just bought them. I think it has more to do with the holiday sale that they were doing. Because, like, if you go onto the Gen Ace website right now, you can buy the same batteries for $45.
nice.
So, yeah, I mean, they don't have any fancy language like carbon lipo or whatever that stuff is, but they did pretty decent the other day. Oh, 3 cars and 7 batteries got me through all day at HIN without a charger.
That's a lot of batteries.
That is a
Oh, you
lot
guys
of.
were there from open to close, also.
Uh, I mean, we were done at about like 2 o'clock in terms of like getting tracked ready to go.
Mhm.
And then yeah, just pretty consistent driving.
Cool.
Okay. So capacitors. The reason why we have capacitors is because we have too much of a draw in terms of voltage and amps in as far as like turbo and boost goes. So everything that we care about in terms of our electronics, everything is based off of like a window of power, right? So like you have clean power, and then once you hit boost and turbo, then you have like crappy dirty power. So that's what the capacitor is there for. It's in the middle so that it can help subside the drop into the dirty power. Um yeah, so like that's why we have capacitors. All of the Accuvance capacitors are solid state. There's Yeah Racing, there is Onisiki has one. There's a few other brandings. Hobbywing has their non-polarized capacitors that are solid state too. You do want to try to stick with the solid states because they discharge faster than the like traditional like cylinder caps. Um, so keep an eye on that. Do we need capacitors? Yes. Will our cars run without capacitors? Yes. It's just not good for them because dirty power equals a dead ESC in the end. Um, Reverse lock on Accuvance sucks. Yes, 100%. Harvey just got a dude. Harvey just got a baller setup. He got a RER with the fledge with the fan and a rad ESC. So he was playing with that at the track today, and a little bit
Nice.
yesterday at HIN.
HIN.
Mm-hmm. Where are you guys from, and what is your local track? So our local track in Oregon is Northwest Hobbies, just like Phil said. It's kind of hilarious because there's actually very few people that reside in Albany that actually go to Albany and drift. Like
That's very true.
John's an hour and a half away. I'm 20 minutes away. Um, we've got
Jake
people.
is an hour, 2 hours, so hour and a half away.
Yeah,
Nick is 2 hours away.
Lance is an hour away. Yeah, and
Ah,
then
damn. Oh,
Alex
that's true.
is
Always been.
Alex is technically 20-30 minutes away. Yeah, like
Neil is the only one that's like 5 minutes away.
yeah, but Neil hasn't come and drift for a while.
That's true. He's got better things to do.
Yeah, he's got better things to do. Yes, judges get an automatically invite or entry into the finale to Super G this year, so that's good. I'm glad to hear
Cool.
that. However, I mean that doesn't mean that you're a good driver. So I would hate to show up and then just like get kicked on first quals or first
That's
round.
true.
Do people
We can
need
do this
caps?
though.
And what's your favorite battery? So we did that. what is your club tire and what FDR do you run? For us, since we're running on polished concrete, we're using DRCs. There are other tires, TS LF4, LF5s. They work great. I'm pretty sure the Super G tire is like a LF4 basically, and we can get those pretty fast in terms of like polished concrete. Um, what is our FDR? I'm around 11 on my cars. Do you know where you're at, John?
Nope, never cared.
I mean, you should.
Well, it's just one of those that every car it's a different setup. So like my mini is a different pinion gear versus spur gear, and then same with my big car, it's different. So I never really cared to keep track of that stuff. To me, if my car feels good and it runs good, then that's what I stick with.
Right.
It could be like the worst FDR, but I'd still run it because it works for me.
I mean, Alex used to run like really high into like 12 or 13.
Which Alex?
Um, he, our Alex,
Yeah, Alex in Albany or Salem.
Salem, yeah. Even without drifting, Super G is a blast. Can always hang at the DJ booth upstairs. That's cool. So out of the Oregon guys, Jake and Phil are the only two that have been to Super G so far.
We were supposed to go this year, but crap happened.
I mean, I'm more in it to the trip to Disneyland than going to Super G, but you know.
Yeah, I can skip Disney.
Nah.
Well, it's different. You like Disney.
Yes.
I do too. Just
You're not
that
you're
one.
not a nerd enough to go on a Disney cruise with us. So
Exactly.
yeah, you're lame. Matching FDR tires helps tight tandems. Yes, 100% agreed. Funny fact, limiting your RPMs, like the rev limiting in the AccuBands or just whatever ESC that you're using, can also help with your tandems. We did it one day at Northwest. We limited our RPMs to 38,000 RPMs, and it was so easy to just like stick with each other because no one really had like the upper edge there, like here or there.
It is nice when you do it that way.
Yeah, when you have like John always complaining that his car is slow. Yeah.
Always. It's gonna be an ongoing thing for a while.
Comp car is at 10.4. Want to drop to 9.4 and see if I could get some more speed. Right on, Jake. Well, I'll take you up on that. 4 night or 7 night. Either way, it's overly priced, which super sucks. Because what? So 7 night cruise was like $800, $900 per person, like with balcony. On Disney, it's jumps to like 1,500.
Damn.
um, I don't think dropping your FDR is gonna give you more speed, dude. Like, it'll give you more workability in terms of like your trigger pull, but I don't know. Jake does more experimentation than I do, so that could
I
be a
think
thing.
next project at Northwest is change all the settings just to see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So when is that gonna be?
Let's see. I have
Because now we have to worry about weather with all like the crap hail snow things that's been happening.
to. Oh, that's Sunday. Okay. Possibly the 11th or the 25th. Oh no, the 11th. Because 18th is drifting real cars, and then the 25th is Christmas. So I have the 11th. I may or may not bring the puppy with Drea because that's a girls' weekend.
Mm. You can drop them off with Crystal.
That's true.
We have a line out back for Akira.
Nice. So
Okay, so John brings up a really interesting point, and I've been up and down this like whole thing. So he turned off boost and turbo and lowered his throttle EPA. Surprisingly, it made the car faster and more controlled. I would put this in line with hitting low voltage.
yes, but we know that because then it's less wheel spin, so you actually get some sort of traction. So makes you faster.
Right, because you're being more efficient with like the actual wheel
Mhm.
speed. But I do think it's more detrimental to your actual car's ability overall. So, you know how we always talk about tuning your finger? Like,
Mhm.
if you can tune this, then you can leave the boost and the turbo in and still be able to have all the functionality. Because, like, if we have a car that has um, anti torque and where our car is going to squat, that requires the torque of the motor to be able to do that. And then as far as like turbo goes, there are certain times where I use turbo just to either extend the well, to catch up to cause that squatting motion even more, or to just expand the drift to like lengthen it out to where I need it to get to. So I'd rather have that mm, instead of using the car more efficiently, I guess you could say. Better to have it than
Driver,
not have it.
driver preference.
Exactly. Um, since we all
Jake's.
have since we all have multiple cars, we need to have one dedicated for titanium so to match FTRs. Yes.
I mean, we did that already.
I mean, not officially though.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool. Like comp car, tandem car.
hmm
That means I need to
I
build
mean,
another car.
we have that already. I already have that, right? It's just we haven't set like the actual line for like what we want to do.
Hmm.
Visited Street Break in Florida. That's how all the guys ran, and that's totally cool. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm
Different
not saying
tracks,
it's
different
right.
style.
Yeah, it's 100% preference.
Nick is a different animal. Like
No, no.
he's just
Wait, I find this problematic because I don't think we had problems keeping up with Nick. Like, if anything, I was always into his door.
yeah. Well, then remember, I my car's slow.
You
That's
weren't
always
there.
my problem.
You weren't there. You're a non-issue.
No, but that car that he drove, I drove that car, and it's definitely faster than my car.
And that's fine.
Hmm. So
Now,
I'm just saying that
are we
car's.
saying that the car feels best at low voltage cutoff, or when we're not in high boost or anything like that? Because both of those are true. Like, I
Um, it depends on what we're driving and what we're trying to do with the car.
right,
If we're just following and we're just trying to tandem together, like actually work together, then yeah, I think if it's low boost or if it's on low voltage cutoff, that's when it feels the best.
right.
But if we're trying to push and actually trying to leave or lead or follow hard door banging, then I would still prefer to have all the power when I need it, when I can use it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, so Lance's Rhino has a 17.5 BS tool in it, and it's still fast.
Yeah, but that's tuning again. It's not just like spur gear or pinion gear or boost. It's how that car's tuned and how it works on its own as far as suspension. Because we know this. If we can have the best system, but our suspension and alignment is crap, it doesn't work.
So, as far as corner speed goes, what I've learned right now is that that heavily depends on how your car is shifting weight. Like Jake's saying that he's struggling with corner exit speed.
Yeah, I can agree with Jake on that one because I think that's my problem too. Is that corners exit speed.
So what I found is that, well, I mean, I have problems with exit speed unless I'm actually thinking about the corner as a whole, like entry, apex, and then exit. Because I noticed that sometimes my car, the times that it actually goes the best is when your car is actually in a neutral position where it's like the rear end's not overdriving or pushing the front end to the point where you have no control over your front end. It's usually the best when like you can enter the corner and the car will kind of like self drive without any additional input in terms of like it's going to track around the corner the way that you want it to. That's going to give you the best exit speed is from what I've been feeling lately. As far as like mid corner, like if you have your like Rob Nick will always like throw up the um, forward and backwards angle, whatever they are, slashes on your keyboard, right? And he'll be like, he, um, like, if you want fast, make sure. Why can't I? Make sure that your shocks are like pointed or angled just a bit, not a lot, but just a bit. For my setups, I actually run them pretty aggressive in terms of the lean over, and that causes the more progression over on the rollover. So when I'm rolled over, and this is probably why I don't run high motors either. Um, I'm running below the center line or below where you would like from where the stock ZX would be. So the overall roll of my car is less than that of what like your typical ZX would be. Um,
Mhm.
which is why I also run low motor on my MC1. Um, so my roll is a little bit softer there, so it's giving me more speed through the corner as I go.
Mhm. Gotcha. Yeah, we definitely need a Sunday on the 11th to where it's just tuning, like undo everything and just retune.
No, I mean like for what they're saying, let's just do track rule that day, nothing higher than 38,000 RPMs, and that's it. That's the only rule.
Okay. Hey Zach. Zach just jumped in.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I need to be done with this.
I mean, like we've already covered everything that we wanted to.
Mhm.
The only things that like I really want to just reiterate are the competition series that's coming up. January 15th is the new competition or the closest competition that's going to be here. And yeah, just everyone read up on the rules for Super G. Um,
And judges, read up on the rule too.
I mean, so that's you, Elliot, and Nick are slated for the judges for this next competition.
All right, guys, my Venmo account is
You
just
already made
kidding.
that joke. You can't do that joke anymore.
I know, but we're done, so I can make it again. All right,
um,
guys, thanks for tuning in and watching,
yep.
and thanks for all the comments and questions. Again, if you guys want to be in it and you want to talk to us, let us know, and we will add you to our conference or Google Meet, and we'll go from there.
Yep. Subscribe. Make people watch
Yeah,
my videos because if I could get to 1,000, then we can start monetizing the streams.
right.
Yep. Okay.
All
Later,
right,
all.
guys. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye.